सर। उमरे सर।
जी सर।
हेलो उमरे सर।
हाँ
कब
बोलो ना
ज्वाइन हो
सर।
रहे हैं रालेगांवकर सर?
बोला तो था मैं।
हेलो।
हाँ, 12:55 को ज्वाइन करो करके मैंने बोला था। ठीक है सर, बोले अभी
अच्छा
12
अच्छा।
बजे बात किया तुम्हें।
अच्छा अच्छा, ओके ओके। एक रिमाइंडर दे दो नहीं तो।
हाँ हाँ ठीक है। 2 मिनट में लॉगिन कर गए सर।
ठीक है ठीक है। Rahul sir, welcome.
Arey sir, welcome. Thank you, thank you. Hope you are enjoying your trip.
Yes sir.
चल चल ठीक है सर. सॉरी हाँ 2 मिनट लेट हो गया
वेलकम
एक्चुअली
सर.
मैं
नहीं नहीं, कोई इशू नहीं,
में
कोई
था.
इशू नहीं।
वेलकम टू द मीट.
सर सर
अवचट सर.
सर शुरू करें सर.
यस
राहुल
सर.
सर. हाँ सर प्लीज प्लीज आई एम
ओके.
शेयरिंग माय
अवचट
स्क्रीन.
सर.
अवचट सर
यस सर. यस सर. शुरू करो प्लीज.
सर रिक्वेस्ट भेजा है शेयर करने के लिए.
सर
अवचट सर कोस्ट बना दो गाड़ेगांव का सर.
सर shall I start?
यस यस.
Okay. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. It is my distinct pleasure to extend the warm welcome to all the participants of this virtual faculty development program on Zoom. We are gathered here today to delve into crucial aspect of our academic and professional growth, and we are incredibly fortunate to have with us a distinguished personality whose contribution to civil engineering and sustainable construction are truly remarkable. We welcome with Dr. Ralegaonkar sir with virtual floral bouquet. It is an honor to introduce our esteemed guest speaker for the today, Dr. Rahul Ralegaonkar. Sir, Dr. Ralegaonkar sir, academic journey is one of the remarkable dedication and consistent excellence. He led the foundation of his expertise with the BE in Civil Engineering from Nagpur University in 1998, followed by ME in Civil Engineering from BITS Filani in 2000, and his pursuit of knowledge accumulated in PhD in energy efficient building from BITS Pilani in 2005, a testament to his early foresight into critical area of sustainable development. Currently, Dr. Ralegaonkar sir as a professor in Department of Civil Engineering at STM Vishwasriya National Institute of Technology, Nagpur, India, while Dr. Ralegaonkar spent a foundational year in the industry and holding the marginary post in GIS and civil construction. The vast majority of his 20 years career has been devoted to enriching the academic landscape. His association with academia has been comprehensive, encompassing the pioneering research, rigorous testing, and invaluable consultancy in civil engineering, material, and projects. His international accolades speaks volume about his global standing. In 2016, he was awarded the highly prestigious Indo-US Bhavan Fellowship by DST New Delhi, providing him with opportunity to conduct the groundbreaking work at the University of Texas, USA. Since 2019, he has held the esteemed position of visiting professor at Liverpool John Moores University, UK. His research endeavors have also taken him to Australia and Singapore for fruitful exchange program. Dr. Aligarh is just not an academician but also an innovator. He has been recognized with the impressive 4 international and 3 national awards for his novel product design, which are actively contributing as an energy efficient construction material. His commitment to sustainability is further highlighted by the Doctor Fellowship he received from the National Renewable Energy Fellowship by the Ministry of Non-Conventional Energy Sources, New Delhi. His passion lies in the broad and vital area of sustainable and construction engineering. His research portfolio is truly impressive. He has successfully completed several R&D sponsored projects of both national and international repute, and is presently engrossed the 3 significant projects funded by the Ministry of Coal Mines and Trueform Industry Private Limited. A massive achievement in his career is the technology and pre-incubation support he received under the Affordable Sustainable Housing Accelerator Program by the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, Government of India. In the terms of innovation, Dr. Aligarh holds 8 granted patents related to sustainable construction material, a testament to his innovative spirit. Furthermore, he has secured the copyrights of 2 software tools designed for the carbon minus building design and the implementation of sustainable technology in large-scale construction projects. His intellectual output is vast and influential. With over 220 publications at international and national level, he has authored the 3 books of contributed over 5 chapters to international handbooks published by the leading houses like Elsewhere and IGI Global. His dedicated mentor, having a guided a 10 PhD candidate over 55 master's candidate and 15 graduating students group to successful project completion. His influence extends beyond the academic confines with the lecture notes published and presented in more than 30 training programs. He has delivered over 130 invited lectures on the diverse range of management and engineering topics, including the energy management, energy economics, and sustainable technology in the construction and disaster management at various national and international platforms. He has also been integral part of the organizing committee over 60 events, including workshops, training program, and national conferences. Dr. Ralegaonkar is a respected voice in the scientific community, serving as a lead editor of SCI Journal and actively contributed as an editorial board member and reviewer of numerous national and international journals and conferences. His dedication to academic rigor was recognized with Excellence in Review Award in 2021 for the prestigious Journal Resources Conservation and Recycling and Elsewhere Journal. He is also a value member of Board of Studies of several deemed universities. His commitment to the national development is evident through his association with significant national mission projects, including serving as a principal nodal officer for E-Hub of Ministry of Skill Development Program, nodal coordinator for the Housing for All program of the Ministry of Housing and Urban Poverty Elevation, and a member of the Environmental Clearance Cell constituted by the Local Improvement Trust. Additionally, he provides a technical advisory to the construction chemical company Apple Chemi, Mrs. Apple Chemi in India Private Limited, Nagpur, as a part of Indigo Paints. Dr. Ralegaonkar research interests lie prominently in sustainable construction material, construction technology and management, and energy efficient building. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Rahul Ralegaonkar sir is a true visionary and prolific researcher, an inspiring educator, and a dedicated contributor to the sustainable development. We are exceptionally fortunate to have him share his valuable insights and expertise with us today. Without further ado, please join me in giving a resounding welcome to the Dr. Ralegaonkar sir. Over to you, sir.
सर को को होस्ट बना देना उचट सर. Is it visible?
Yes, sir. Presentation, yes, sir. Full screen is also visible.
Slides, are they changing?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Slides are changed.
Perfect. Perfect. So, good afternoon, one and all. At the outset, let me thank the entire management of KDK College of Engineering. Special thanks to the principal, sir, Varghese sir, head of the department, Dr. Swapnil sir, and the other associates. Just a moment, I am just having one more call from Dean's office. Hello. Yeah. So let us come back. I have been given the task by the HOD sir asking me that I have to deliver something on effective literature review. So let me try my best, whatever I can cover up in 40-45 minutes. But I'll be more than happy that if you have any kind of questions in between when I'm changing the slides, probably you can put in the chat box. So at the end, those can be discussed. So I won't go much into the basics, assuming that most of you, either you are at level where you are pursuing your PhD or you have completed your works, even because now research methodology is taught at master's level also. But however, we need to do the justice, because what kind of literature I am reviewing, and then what kind of outcome or what kind of research gap we identify, that is essentially required. Here I am also going to talk something about state of the art tools which help to systemize the literature what we try to download or study. And then it also helps that there are certain special tools nowadays where you get to know that how do you extract the right information and where you can put your literature review. Normally most of our research study starts with this, because unless and until we do not do a thorough review, it cannot be said that this is a novel work. So we need to identify the real research gap, what earlier researchers have already done, and then probably you can also access the other literatures also. So I'm not going to much talk about what is review, but however, in general, when I have asked the question to the software that what is literature, so it talks more about books and articles. So nowadays, what we have seen is most of the scholars, they are away from the library. We have so much of electronic resources, and probably there we may lag because frugal engineering what we talk, or the ancient review or the ancient literature has enough information or the knowledge which can always be extracted for taking the things further. Like uh, we have so much of so many shlokas in Sanskrit. However, they talk about recipe, but they do not talk anything much about the proportioning, where most of the civil engineers, they understand the art of preparing some recipe in terms of specific amount of raw materials. So sorry, but I'll be little bit biased because I am a civil engineer, and I can only quote the examples related to civil engineering challenges. So kindly bear with me. However, you can put the same concept in your own particular field and see that how we can make the things more effective. uh, Primarily, we also talk more in terms of scientific literature, where what is written into the document. So decoding the others' information is one of the most challenging tasks. Uh, just to quote something, in most of the literature, probably if we talk more about sustainability, people will talk about technology or how we are making something or the some resource as a sustainable resource. However, most of the time, cost is not highlighted in many of the researches. So probably that year to bring it down, maybe we can extract some information from other sources and start benchmarking the information which can be further transferred to the community. Now, necessarily, why do we require? Because this particular review, what we try to talk in terms of uh, here. So the primarily the reviews which are all there, probably they need to be focused from the current studies. So we say that the recent current study. So normally in any particular, we talk about any, you can say the research. In the research, the most important aspect what we have is probably over the time of your research, we normally say literature review will be carried out throughout the timeline. So we need to know that although we say that earlier some work was not done, but at the time when we are starting the research, probably there may be very similar number of minds which are thinking on the same problem. And that's what over the timeline also we need to keep a watch that maybe from 25 if I am registering, and for next 2 to 3 years if I am carrying my research, so up to 2028 we have to keep the updates that what is it, what are all the novelties or the research which globally people are all doing. And nowadays we have faster tools which can be used to evaluate. However, in most of the cases when we write a note, probably up to the current scenario, we need to figure out that our review should be done. And I urge all the researchers here that we must produce at least one literature review for every particular research work, be it a master's level or be it a doctoral level, because that shows how deeply somebody has understood the work of others and he or she has identified the research gap. And probably if you see the general trend that most of the time the review literature or the paper which is kind of review paper has more number of citations as compared to your technical document, and that is how probably that increases your value also into the market, that how in depth parameters we have analyzed for a particular challenge that has to be solved, be it a social or be it a technical problem. Then coming back, we are talking also about uh, what is already known that should be essentially produced in front of others. Otherwise, there will be a repetition, and probably that work later on, maybe when you start writing a real paper of the work, we see that most of the time people give a comment stating that the similar kind of work already exists, or there is no novelty because that knowledge already exists into the domain of scientific information. And this is how probably we need to little bit concern about evaluating something what is essentially required. There are certain quotations against the particular researchers, but they talk about what is review in technical terms, essentially which has research data. That is, we get that what kind of information already is available into the market or into the research domain. Then uh, probably the influence of that problem, like whether we need a particular facility or the particular knowledge that is essentially required. And then third could be the design challenges, right? So the research design, it can be used to compare results and findings of the current study. So primarily there could be few more points what can be added, but we need to understand how people have collected the data earlier. So was it only from particular you can say the review of the literature which is available into the public domain, or whether there were certain data that was available in the book form, or normally for the engineers we oftenly say that we take help of codal provisions. So in codes there are certain factor of safety, and probably are they correct? So probably people may be interested in evaluating those particular factors. Are they over safe, are they under safe, something like that. And then we again talk more in terms of how to design a problem. So designing a problem and solving it. So if we are saying that okay, this is for particular research, I need x maybe some 4 or 5 materials which are essentially required to be mixed in a proper proportion. However, uh, there are special courses nowadays which we talk about the design philosophy or the design methodology. We normally ask what is the basis of particular design, and then that has to be narrowly thought of when we are reviewing multiple research, you can say the articles or the books or maybe the codes, or even the survey if we can do into the industries for a particular work. uh, Essentially from this, what we can predict or what we can decide is based on the other people, what are the other researcher what they have done. We normally try to figure out what is the best method of comparison. Like say for example, if I just give you the current state of the art picture, where nowadays most of us we evaluate the computational tools. And in computational tool, whatever data what we get, uh, are there any good amount of validation that whatever data I am getting or whatever modeling I have done in my tool, which is we call it as a black box, the outcome whatever we are getting, is it validated? Are we getting the results to the real scenario? And same is the case where nowadays AI or machine learning algorithms, they also talk about prediction analysis, right? So if we want to predict something, obviously most of the time what happens is you get some regression parameter. So be it a 0.7, be it a 0.8, be it a 0.9, something could be 0.99. So based on a particular model what I have analyzed, and something which is very close to the actual one, probably that model will be assumed to be the best one. And that's how it helps, the review helps, that which particular method is going to be the more adaptive for a particular research what we want to take further. uh, Now good quality of you can say literature paper, how can we write? probably most important part is comprehensive. Now the term is qualitative, but here because we have been involved in lot of reviews for the reputed journals, you normally see number is always probably you can say varying, but most of the time we want to see that at least 3-digit number has to be there when we try to evaluate the literature review, wherein more than 100 papers are reviewed by a particular researcher, and based on the gist of those particular information we try to put in the public domain with a proper identification of research gap and a comparison of different you can say the research which were done or which were carried out at a different location. So that helps that how can we narrow down a particular work. We also as I have given you earlier the example that it has to be up to date reference. So you can say if I'm completing my work in 2025, I need to, before I complete my thesis, I need to check whether are there any particular updates into the research fraternity where you try to have better and better referencing and better results what others have produced. Here we talk more about systematic approach. Now to give you a more glimpse of what do we mean by systematic literature review is you need to go by the era, like how the research has progressed over a time, and then essentially we need to showcase that in particular era what kind of focus was there for a particular work and how it progressed. Like for AIML nowadays what we try to showcase that it's almost a 20-year-old baby, right? So over 2 decades already in the developed nation people have started using AIML, and now in developing nation that has become a fashion and essentially we have started using it. But over the particular years how the review has grown in or how the researchers have used those kind of tool sets to use them in a different or in different applications, that has to be showcased in terms of graphical or in terms of systematic tabular data, something that is reproducible. So this is also essentially required that probably something what has been done, uh, probably if somebody has not done the validation, if I validate by any other method and then we try to prove that this theory or this particular philosophy is going to work for a particular for solving a particular challenge, that's going to be helpful. Here we talk about bias. Most of the time we try to see if we are writing a good review literature of or the review paper for the analyzed literature. We essentially say one should not be biased about his own work. So if there are more than 20 more citations, like in intro he Professor Ouchet, he said that I have 220 publications. So and I am saying here that in my review I should have 100 odd papers. So if 50 papers I put only for my just to increase my citation, that's not going to help. So I need to be very unbiased on the terms of a specific activity or a specific work which we are reviewing. Well written in terms of we need to identify or we should be in a position to bring down the parameters together for the different reviews, right? Say for example if I say there is a particular strength parameter and there are 10 review papers, so we need to figure out that after doing permutation combination everybody is coming up with what best particular combination of ingredients and the best strength for a particular product. uh, then again we talk about like you say uh, it has to have the distribution but connecting together, like just to give you, because we are working into this domain in even in IS codal provision, we do have around 5 to 6 or maybe around 7 to 8 total you can say the properties which can be evaluated for bricks. So I'm just giving you a raw example. So most of you might have seen a brick which is a masonry material. So all of us reside in a house, so bricks you must have seen in your life. So just to give you this example that when we start some of its parts, what I mean to say is we should not restrict ourselves only for a particular family of a particular nation. I say I want to use a standards for Indian market. So in India, if I have only 8, and if I evaluate my particular novel product in terms of those 8 parameters, that's not going to win the situation at a global level. So normally that's what we say. Think of ISO, which works globally, more than say 50 odd countries together. So then when we narrow down, when we try to see the different countries, which are all tests they perform for a particular product, and then I prepare a recipe that I have to have almost 30 odd tests which needs to be done to prove that a novel product is safe from all the perspectives, or it complies the requirement of the global standards. So that is how it goes, that we need to figure out and take out the best from each and every individual or the standards. Then we talk about probably the searches. So something which is very clearly identified or understood, and the selected literature. Probably you can omit also sometimes, which is not into the domain. Say again, to give you an example, we are looking for a particular you can say application. So it can be application based. Something which is not in a particular application, that can be removed. uh, Accurate referencing. So referencing styles, they are important at the end. I will just brief quickly that how to align the references. That is most important part, because without that probably your paper cannot be through for a particular research. Essentially what we try to talk in terms of background is your like research findings which are essentially there. So we need to understand what is that problem. So essentially most of the time we try to play with the title, right? Nowadays in elsewhere it has been seen that your title should not be more than 80 characters. I am not saying about words, I am saying characters. So if you start including the blanks in between, like here if we just try to count the background, so you can count the number of characters: 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So this is one word. So my total researcher's background, this will be accounted or counted. And if my total numbers are not within that domain, probably my paper I cannot submit. So it is that or it has to be so clear. So essentially what we try to talk about is try to make your title so appropriate in terms of your what you want to analyze or what you want to study. Say for example, you are designing something, or are you developing something, or with those particular terminologies, what are you trying to figure out? Like if I say sustainability, so even though in sustainability, what was my aim? Was it resource conservation, or was it like your resource reutilization, and so on so forth. So probably we have to figure out these kind of terms very meticulously, and then you have to come down to your you can say reviews, which talks about the background, what I'm trying to project. And then most important part is complexity, or I will say in a simpler term, because they are the textbook terminologies. But to be very honest, let us talk in terms of novelty, right? Any particular work, what is essentially required, and how easily we can convince either to the reviewer or to the editor in terms of the work what was done, how it is important in particular aspect, and why the novelty is essentially more, or more investigations are required. That has to be very very clear. So how simple you can make the complex challenges, that is also a or a major part when we start or when we collect the reviews. Most important time part, like most of the time, like nowadays these resources are available. Earlier they were really a challenge, but in most of the regions where you say that we have availability of digital tools, and we can get lot of information over and above. The most important part is offline data. And then, given a choice, if I ask you a question, that if I'm working on a particular problem, say a simple problem of you can say whether I need footpath or not. So I'm just creating some kind of uh, you can say the review sheet, and I'm going to go and ask the citizens in a particular region. And then again, the most challenge is people are not aware, or people do not speak much about what should be a good size of data which I should collect so that I can generate some kind of hypothesis out of it. And that is how probably there are certain journals which essentially talks about what should be the size of my data, and that is how it makes sense. Again, the time frame. So we see from where a particular problem originated, how it evolved over the time, and then now what are all current challenges or scenarios. And next to that, we also talk about support system. So whatever review, what you have gathered, you should be in a position to project or focus that what researchers have done, what are all their limitations, and why there is more investigation needed. So that is how we talk in terms of availability of support system or the data. There could be something which may not be available in our particular language, and that also could be one of the challenges. And then we need to figure out whether that those kind of data sets can we bring them in our own particular, you can say, the languages where we understand. Now the purposes of literature review, it is very clear, right? So we need to figure out the research problem. Also, we need to investigate the previous knowledge. Then we also talk in terms of why there is a requirement of further research. And then we are also talking in terms of uh, research that has already been done. What are all their limitations? So that also can be figured out. Essentially narrow down the problem. So I am, whether if I am going for a application oriented challenge, probably that is a different type of review. However, if you are doing a fundamental research, then we essentially need to figure out that what I am trying to investigate. There could be only one feature of the entire process which you want to systemize. So I am narrowing down a particular issue. So maybe the choice is yours. If you are giving the problems to your scholars, or if you yourself are trying to solve, you need to figure out on at what scale you are working with. And then we are also talking about the questionnaires or the questions, probably what the research has not the answer. I say economics is still a challenge. So can I optimize the economic part for most of the cases where we try to evolve a novel system? uh, Types of reviews are mentioned. Essentially, we never go in so much of detailing, but the scientific information reveals in terms of these four major types. First is traditional or narrative review, which is available, and which primarily is for critics and summarizing the review what people have done, and then from that we draw the conclusion on a common scale that this is a holistic way of solving a particular challenge. Then you talk about second way, where it talks more about systematic review of literature. So in this is a defined approach in terms like we try to see the complete list of published and unpublished studies related to particular topic. So some of the papers, they are accepted and they are available in public domain. Nowadays that has become a very common scenario for open access journals. And that is why I have included unpublished studies, but they are available in public domain. There could be certain websites also which can be taken up. Then we talk more about metadata. So here, large quantity findings and conductions through statistical analysis is essentially required. So you have a large data, you are trying to fit that information on a common scale. And then you have meta synthesis, which is a non-statistical method which is normally used for integration and evaluation of interpretations what earlier studies have revealed. So I will not go back again for literature review, but this is a standard definition what it talks about. We can quickly go here. So the ability to scan the literature efficiently using manual or computerized methods to identify a set of useful articles and books is known as literature review. So this is a standard definition. Here, for more kind of review based challenges, I'm just trying to see the time. I have another 10 minutes, and then 5-10 minutes we can talk in terms of the understanding. So I can just quickly browse this. Given a more time, probably we can discuss more. And then what I will do is I'll share all my slides which talks about a background to all of you through the organizer, so it can be spread to all of you, so you may use them for your further referencing. uh, you can, so I have talked about a character. Now here we essentially focus on some kind of, when you have started doing some search or reviewing the contents. So the most important part is what kind of theories people have adopted or people have used, or the concepts what essentially somebody has you can review, or somebody has reviewed in terms. And then you have also the major, like for your problem, what are you going to project. So that is again the most important part is uh, coming up with a question. Do I have an answer, right? What, where, and when. So if we normally ask, most of the things get resolved in scientific knowledge. That is what it is being said, right? And then here, as I said, methodologies, be it a mathematical model, be it a computational model, or be it an experimental model, we need to understand what kind of methods people have already used, and then what are all where there is challenges. Now, the structuring or organizing for that, nowadays you have tool. I'll just showcase the name of the tool, but still you can define your own structure. Like if I'm figuring out that I want to come up with the end product, so my raw materials, are they feasible or not, that I need to evaluate first, and then I need to mix, and then I need to check the performance of the end product. That is how it goes. Uh, we also talk about origin. So from where this particular issue have evolved. Like say for example, I want to use some novel material for new construction. So the origin itself becomes a new project. However, if I say there are already existing buildings since last 10 years which needs some kind of maintenance, and I have some solution for maintenance of those kind of issues, so we say my origin is going to be the kind of repetitive maintenance related problems rather than the fundamental issue of novel design or the new construction. We also talk about major issues, and here it is been said, debate about the topic. We need to come up with the proper references. Like right now we are working much for sanitation related challenges, so we have done a detailed review that which are all the pockets in Maharashtra, or which are the cities in Maharashtra where you have really a challenge of sanitation, public sanitation I am talking about, and you come up with the fact data. So there are certain companies who also sell these kind of data. They do a lot of reviews, and then they that is available in their public domain. So you may approach to such agencies also to get good data. So here you talk about what are all the key resources, and who are all the key you can say the researchers who have worked on that, probably because you need the experts. Sometimes you need experts reviews, so we need to bring them on a common scale. uh, Most important part is identification of gap is very very important. So nowadays we are now normally we give 6 months of time for understanding what are all the research gaps, then raising the questions related to challenges. That's what, like wherever researcher have completed the work, beyond that what is it going to be. So we need to come up with a question after this, what is going to be there, right? Next is we talk about evaluation and relationships between different, you can say, the sources. That is again very very important, but most of the cases we see that either the textbooks or even certain magazines, they produce the facts from the scientific information only. And then we merge some kind of sub themes. That is again important. So I like we project more from infrastructure management perspective. So this is how it goes, that what are all the key primary initiatives for bringing up a particular technology or a product into the market, that has to be understood. uh, these are all the stages of normal literature review which are essentially required. And as I said earlier also, analyze the findings. This is the most challenging task, what others have done with the partial or with the full substitution of a conventional material. What kind of property investigations were carried out, and which makes a strong statement that XYZ product can be made use for a specific application. So here the steps are mentioned. You say you have a topic, you start reviewing, then you select a particular category, and then we start doing the work very critically, understanding what others have done. And normally, from past experiences, I could see most of the researchers, they take almost 20% of their time to write a very good literature review, be it a manuscript or be it your thesis, because nowadays plagiarism has become a key role of achieving the success for any particular thing. So every editorial office has their own tool. They put all your chapters or all your thesis or manuscript through those kind of tools, where you get to know what is the similarity index. And that is essentially required, what whenever I am doing the review, I need to produce my own document rather than accepting the terminologies what earlier scientists have done. Uh, Here again, some basics that we need to focus on the specific challenge. Then we need to figure out the types. So here they have mentioned whether I'm primarily trying to extract something from theory or methodology, or are there any policies. And then you have qualitative and quantitative studies. So scope also defines, as I said, we are working in India, so probably my scope could be the particular region only. How to get the literature? So most of the things are mentioned here, and some of them you might have also adopted or used a lot. Yeah. So the difference between primary and secondary data or the review. So we talk about the direct information what you have access, and in case of secondary, it becomes that you have gathered it through some other source. Here, at least in this chart, what are all shown sketches, it talks about the different resources what one can have for reviewing the literature. So how to make a note of submission, that is what it is mentioned. Normally we like when somebody writes a first paper, they need hand holding as far as the style of presentation of data is concerned, wherein most of the supervisors, I believe that they are capable enough to support those kind of issues. uh, Then we talk about examining the body of the source. So maybe is it particularly for a intended audience, and then are the objectives, is the coverage specifically mentioned, that is checked. So here some kind of, you can say, the framework what the earlier researcher has done, that is represented in front of you. So we say that the literature we need to find, we need to manage, we need to use it. That is most important phase. And then at the end, you come up with the product, like with the concept of review article. Now, earlier also, as I said, like for this particular challenge of literature review, we need to figure out something in terms of, you can say, the topics, issues, and areas of concern, though are particularly appropriate for a specific work. And then again, the research gap is coming up repeatedly. I can jump to the main aspect. Uh, what are all? Yeah. So coming back to the examples here, you can see that how they are correlated. Try to focus on these four uh, symbols, like one is filled rectangle, one is star, one is diamond, and another one is star again. So star, that is filled in the background. So it talks about literature review or the background. then moderation of relevance of that information has to be done independently. And then we have like larger relevance in terms of a particular project. And the last one, we talk about the correlations. So how to annotate the sources? So normally in terms of citation, we try to show them. So coming back to the literature, so we have various different questions which can be probably generated while solving a problem. So what are all going to be the interest? Then we have defined, you can say, a specific parameter. Then arguing the rationale is important. Why something? So that is what we normally present more in terms of results and discussion field. And then we also talk about theoretically, you can say that has to match with the understanding. And then appropriate design development can always be done where you can save lot of your time and energy if something which is already been there that you need to explore almost for a semester. So the difference between reviewing the literature and literature review is quoted in front of you. This is how the difference goes. At least one or two points I would like to elaborate quickly, which talks, so the first one, that is reviewing the literature, it talks about informing yourself of what is happening in the field. However, literature review, it talks about informing your audience, right? So you need to figure out on which part of this particular column you mostly work on, right? So we have some share in terms of percentage. Normally we say 70-30, which in terms focuses on literature of you can say particular work. And here the same work, whatever we have understood, I am presenting in front of audience, so that will be called as literature review. I can just keep this hierarchy, also can be skipped. So we talk about organized research. Now, in case of organized research, it is being said that we have to design the systematic process. So we need to figure out that we have to have the process flow. Say, for example, a mechanical problem where you have a lot of units and every unit will have some kind of consumption that you need to bring it down. And that's what we call something as way of looking at a particular problem. Then we also focus more in terms of accessibility to all the resources what we want. Then you have specific citation references requirement. And then most important, don't copy paste. It will be very tough for any one of us to give the justification if you copy and somebody sees that his or her work is more available. So it could be a little bit of challenging issue. So maybe the same thing what has been shown in photographs. So plagiarism removal, nowadays there are a lot of tools which can be used, and we need to check that what is similarity index. Yeah. So to avoid plagiarism, what they say is you should in the body of your paper where the words or information came from which uses the particular style. So again, if I do not I can say blend them, that's going to be the challenging. So we just for the sake of example, like you have to decide the sequencing of operation and then proceed further. To avoid plagiarism, there are lot of sources. So internet sources are available where you have given or three particular examples: ghostwriter, photocopy, and a particular uh, potluck paper, which can always be used to avoid the issues related with you can say piracy or copy pasting. I do not believe in theory number 4, wherein it is written that what government has already denied. Uh, Probably that could be one of the issues. Then you have more issues on the manpower related challenges, and then we can also see some of the aspects what are all related with your 3D based concrete. So I could see that there is demand which is coming up from the surrounding area, and we need to give them the solution. So if we just miss a note of a particular paper, again it will be coming back wherein we want to reduce the time. Then you have couple of more points in the theory part. I can quickly go on. Yeah. So citation typology for any literature, if you are writing, should have a standard. So where you are applying and how to incorporate. So those information must be available on website. Probably you need to reach out to the right uh, institute where you are doing this work, and then we need to figure out that I have access for literatures, and then from there we are working in terms of better citation styles. Yeah. So this is what I was talking to you, Turnitin nowadays, where you can see 1 to 3rd column. So whatever project I put, I get how much amount of data similarity is there. And based on this, it reports a generate a report, and then that can always be rectified using conventional way. This is one of the tools, Citavi, and what does it do is it keeps giving some inputs as far as like study the material. Then or you say organizing knowledge, like you are sharing that this is what I am starting right at day one. Let the experts say similar kind of like data or information does not exist, and then you can proceed. And then third one is talk about your work related with publishing and planning, and at the end gathering. Uh, so you have reference editor. In references, the moment I add something and it is accepted, it will come up into the public. Now here, some examples are shown in terms of who are all accessing the products at what time. Yeah. Now next, again, yeah, just a moment. So here, Citavi, what it talks about. So this is a software which systemize, which helps to systemize your particular data, what have you kept, and it try to analyze that which kind of paper gets set in particular data. Like some 10 papers, it will automatically extract and make it as an family of introduction only. The wherein problem statement can be done. Then the next, you can connect your tires, multiple tires, and can at a time check the air pressure, and all the challenges again they can be solved out. So hopefully like these kind of journals are also available. So normally we recommend try to follow only or the main you can say government supported toilets and bathrooms. Mm. So coming back to the last one, so what mainly does for us, it systemizes our you can say bibliography or references. Once you have reviewed hundreds odd and how to write, you can always approach to mainly just choose a particular style of referencing, and it will do it for you. Here, what we have done is we have loaded our data, and then you come back to the referencing. It will automatically prepare the document. Stepwise procedure is mentioned. However, as the time is short, I'll quickly move on, and then we can close the discussion as of now. and I will be more than happy if anybody has any question. I will answer, or we can conclude the session. Over to you, the organizers. I will share all these
Thank
slides.
you, sir. Thank you so much for a wonderful session.
Thank you, Ralegaonkar sir, for that incredibly insightful and comprehensive talk on the effective literature review. Your expertise is truly illuminated the path for all of us here today. Now the session is open for the question and answer. The participant can directly unmute yourself and ask the question, or put the question in the chat box. Participants can post their questions in the chat box.
Sir, one question. You have mentioned various tools for citations. Which one is more user friendly, sir? Hello.
Sorry. So each tool is for different application. As I said, Mendeley, what it will do is it will only tell you the style, in what style you want to write a particular reference. However, Citavi, what it does is it helps to extract the information from various papers, and it will tell that these many papers can go in introduction, these many papers can be discussed in methodology, and so on and so forth. So the applications are different. I have just briefed individually that these tools how they are helpful for the like
Saitavi also free software, sir.
yeah, it is kind of free, you have to register.
Fine. Thank you,
Yeah.
sir. Thank you. Any other questions from the participants? Outside, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Also conclude, sir.
Once again, thank you to Dr. Rahul Ralegaonkar sir for dedicating your time and sharing your wisdom with us. And thank you all for attending. We look forward to seeing you at our next event. Have a wonderful day.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rahul sir. Namaskar, sir.
Sir, namaskar sir. I
पूरा
think I
एक
have some
wonder-
issues with my camera, so I'm
Oh,
trying to open it, but it is restricting me.
okay, okay,
I don't know.
okay. अपन personally मिल लेंगे.
Sir, pakka, thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you,
Yeah,
thank
see
Thank
you
you,
soon,
sir.
sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
The feedback link is in the chat box. Kindly fill the feedback.